Hi, my name is Clyde Baptiste, and I'm one of the SEO marketing managers at flypapershop.com. I've put together a do-it-yourself SEO video guide, broken down into sections that will help you outrank your competitors and achieve page 1 placement on Google search engines. I have received written permission from Clint Cotton, owner of CreateMyrtleGuy.com, to use this website in this tutorial. Clint Cotton is a math teacher, football coach, and a botanist with a green thumb for crepe myrtle trees, and I would like to improve his online business. Small disclaimer. I have posted a few affiliate links in the post below to some SEO software that I use to help rank clients in my business. I do get paid if you choose to purchase the products. However, I have also provided the free link trials to the SEO software below that you can use to measure your progress throughout this tutorial. No credit card is needed. One of the first things you want to do when starting your SEO is check your OnPage SEO. You can do that for free at SEOSiteCheckup.com. This will help you identify the problems you have with your site and at the same time check one of your competitors on page 1 and compare the difference. Right now I'm going to go through a few of the common issues that appear on most sites that have not completed their on-page SEO. Okay. One thing, let's keep in mind here that the keyword is crepe myrtle, so we want to make sure that is consistent through the meta title, meta description, and most common keywords. The most common keywords can be found on your page content. That's basically what the site visitors see. Alright, so with the meta title, yes, you have crepe myrtle there. Excuse me. But the title length, excuse me, the title length can be a little longer. The meta description is blank. More than likely it's blank because you haven't done the on-page SEO and you have not implemented that with your website. You can use Yoast SEO. I'll provide a link in the description, and this will pretty much solve everything for you. You just have to put in the content. Right? Let's see what else you have here. Most common keywords: crepe myrtles, crepes, and Texas. So that's pretty good. Keyword usage. The keyword cloud just basically identifies the same thing. What are the most common keywords that you have present on your website or on the home page, and everything that stands out in bold, that's basically what it is. In the H1, H2, yeah, that's good, but these are supposed to be used for defining what the particular page is about or the particular website, since it's your home page. And I know it's not about selling the Amazon book, it's more so about selling crepe myrtles. So that can be adjusted there. Even though it has a green check mark, it still can be adjusted to be not too misleading, like it's all about the book. I see. Okay, let me touch on this too as well. The image alt test. People searching the website can also find your website through images, through like Pinterest, Instagram, and then regular Google search images that are on the web. But for this to be a healthy style of doing things, it needs to have that alt attribute applied to it, and I'll show you an example of that. Okay, site loading speed, you can use W3 total cache, and that will greatly reduce some of the speed that you have here. It'll definitely get you under 5 seconds or at 5 seconds exactly. The GIS CSS minification, I will provide a link in the description below. If you want to dig into your files, you can grab all the CSS files from your website, make a backup of them, and then you can use the link in the description below to compress the files and then replace the originals. This will not, excuse me, sometimes compressing certain CSS and JS files will break your site, so just be sure to make a backup of those before proceeding. HTTPS test, you really don't have to worry about that. I see that you are selling items on your site, and that's mostly to provide consumer security, but I believe you're using PayPal, so all the transactions, all the financial transactions are basically happening off-site and not on your site. Server signature test, this was basically with your hosting company. There's pretty much nothing you can do about that, along with the libpro access test. Plain text email test, you can, it's kind of like on the fence with this one, because I see that you're trying to show consumers and visitors that you're really legitimate about your business and being in contact with your customers, but you can use your contact form for that. The reason why this right here is suggested is so that you don't get a lot of spam emails and your emails are not sold to marketing companies that will distribute your information and stuff like that. Okay, that's one of the reasons to obscure or hide your email address from your site and just use your contact form. Media query, mobile snapshot, that's looking good. Micro schema test. This would definitely apply to all local businesses as far as I'm concerned, because what the micro schema test does is it provides your exact information. On other websites, they have bots that crawl other people's websites looking for contact information, especially businesses. Places like brownbook.net, yellow pages, white pages, Google, Bing, Apple Maps, all these places have bots that'll crawl your website to kind of get the correct contact information and the correct address. But sometimes they might have some old information or some outdated information. So the purpose of the micro schema test is to tell these robots that do that this is my correct and most updated information. And what you would put in there is basically, the name of your business, your address, your telephone number, hours of operation, and days of the week that you're open. Okay. No index tag checker. Okay. The rest of the stuff is pretty much good. So let me just touch on this meta description thing. Let's do a quick Google search, which I did earlier. And you see right here, it says crepe myrtle guide, largest variety of crepe myrtles online. That's pretty good. Okay, but let's look at the description. The description says, need a reliable source for your crepe myrtles. I'm your guide, the crepe myrtle guide. Crepe myrtles at $6 each at Waxahachie, Texas. Okay, and you see it cut off right there where it says 90's favorite. All right, so let's look at a few things. You're using your business to sell crepe myrtles. It's nice that I see that you're using that in the keyword in the description and you're being repetitive, but this is not exactly defining what your website is. I mean, showing that you're a source, that's good, but you could be a little bit more detailed in the information that you're providing. Let me show you an example. Oh, you know what? Let's just do this right here. Crepe myrtle trees, because that's what you're selling. And you can see down here, this will be your direct competitor, crepe myrtle. They have the spelling the same and, basically the same keyword. So you see the crepe myrtle company offers 50 varieties of miniature dwarf, medium, and standard tree crepe for sale. We are the original inventors, and they also got theirs off too. Okay, but let me visit their site and see exactly what they have. Okay. All right, as you're trying to look for ideas or something, you might go to your competitors to kind of see what they have and what they're using. If you run across a site like this where you double click on it and you're not seeing anything, if you're using Chrome, go down here to developer and just hit the view source. Okay, we'll come back here and what we're looking for is description, and we have which one is which. Okay, the OG description is what gets shared on Facebook, meaning that like if I share that page on Facebook, this is the exact content that will post along with my listing. Okay. This description here, meta name description, this is the one that's really the important one. And they're basically using the same thing, but they're definitely over 155 character count, and then they have some text errors right here. Okay. We are the original inventors of the miniature crepe myrtle. Check out our blah 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 section to inspiration, growing, fertilization, and pruning. See how they were able to provide more information, even though they're still over the character count, but they use the meta description to do exactly that, provide everything that they have in a very short phrase. Okay, and like I was saying, you can use the website. Let's go back to that one more time. You can use the website Easy Local to get an exact character count. Where is it at? Okay, here. Let's just use this one. No, that's the title. Just copy that. And when you come down here to the meta description box, this is for when you're creating your own. But I'm just using this as an example. I'll paste that in there and it tells me exactly how much that I'm over. So I need to short down private about right there. No. So you have to come up with enough creative content that kind of puts what your business does, what you offer, um, and since you have a storefront, why not? Where you're located, and all within 155 characters. Okay? And you can do that for your title, and then also when you're doing your page content should be around 400 characters. You can use this space down here, to see if you're over or under. That was one of the most important things that I wanted to go over. Moving on with the JS and the CSS minification, most of this deals with the speed of your website. And there you can use plugins, but plugins, they also have JS and CSS files too, and they also take time to load. So that could kind of work both ways. It'll add additional time. Sometimes it takes away a little bit of time, depending on the plugin you use. I don't use any plugins. I use these two websites. I'll provide a link in the description. And what you basically do is back up the original CSS and JS files, and you'll copy the files over one by one. It'll strip all the unnecessary content from it, and then you can use that file that it produces to replace the original that's on your website. And 9 times out of 10, it'll save you 3 to 5 seconds, sometimes even more, depending how large your CSS files are and also how large your website is. Okay. Let's see, there was something down here. Make sure I didn't go past it. Yeah. So site loading speeds at 8 seconds. Recommended is 5. And like I said, the W3 total cache will help. Um, their JS and CSS minification has been known to break websites sometimes, so this is why that I do it manually. It will tremendously save a lot of time on your website. Give me 1 second while I figure out what's next. Oh yeah, so like I said before, you know your business better than anyone. But how will your audience find you online? Doesn't matter if you're on Etsy, eBay, Amazon, your personal website, 85% of online consumers find their products through Google search. This is why it's always good to use Google Planner. Google Keyword Planner. All right, so let's, this keyword is crepe myrtle. And there's also an alternative spelling for crepe myrtle. Hold on. That's what you're shooting for. Okay, location. I always tell people it's easier to rank locally than it is globally. But for right now, just for this video, we're going to target Texas because this is where your business is located, and it's easier. It'll cost less to ship from there, so the people don't have to even wait that long to get it. So we're just going to use Texas. All right, negative keywords. If you could think of 1 or 2 negative keywords to add, I always use free because I know most e-commerce businesses are not giving anything away for free. So let's just make sure that's one of the keywords. Keywords to include. You want to go back and just make sure keywords that are included are your primary keywords. Don't want anything that's close to or anything like that. I need these exact words to oh man, I just messed up. Wait a minute. I could have just typed this in faster. Okay, just double checking, making sure I got everything good. All right. Wow. Okay, so we can see here that this is your keyword, crepe myrtle. Well, crepe myrtle has 4,400, but even the alternative spelling for crepe myrtle has, almost twice as much. But so that would probably be something that you want to look into or address, or when you're doing social media, blog posting. Um, any type of sharing content across the web, you're going to want to use Crepe Myrtle as the hashtag. Okay, so in the meantime, while you have this list open on your end, make sure you take about 5 keywords, put those to the side, and make those your primary keywords for your homepage. You know, something that you're going to filter out through later, um, to use as your primary keywords for the homepage. You're only going to use one, but as you're sharing content from your homepage, those additional 4 are going to be your primaries. Okay, so say if I was sharing the Create Myrtle guy, website, even though if he left all the spelling the same, I wanted to share this with my friends. I shared on Facebook, Twitter, whatever. The hashtag that I'm going to want to use is going to be that Crepe Myrtle, regardless of whatever it is. And you can see they have other varieties down here. Crepe Myrtle varieties has 170. Crepe Myrtle colors 320. All right. So take about 5 of those, and then 25 of the 20 additional ones just to have over for additional pages of your website. Like down here, you see dwarf crepe myrtles at 260, and I think I've seen that again somewhere. Let's just see right quick, because I know that was one of your pages. Oh, okay, I can see it right here. So dwarf crepe myrtles at 210, dwarf crepe myrtles at 260. Okay, all right, not too bad, but there is, like I said, a difference. And if we target that on a national level, nationwide level, I'm sure the numbers will be significantly different as well. Okay, so look back at the original keywords you have. Check and see if that's something that you really still want, and then look at the top 5 keywords that you were able to find down here with the highest search volume. Pick out 20 more, and those, like I said, in the future would be used as hashtags, anchor links, and excuse me, words in future articles. Okay, when you do that, I'll just do 1 or 2. Take the highest ones. And when you do it, you can save this. Let me see. Yeah, download plan, and you can save this to Google Drive, so you just have it for later. And make sure it's Excel CSV. My download operation failed. Okay, it's working now, I guess. Okay, so now I can open the file. And a lot of information here is not necessary, so I kind of like to clean it up a little bit. Okay, we don't need the campaign name, we don't need the ad group, just need the keyword for right now. Segmentation we don't need, implement it. Okay, this we don't need. Okay, so that looks a little clearer and a little easier to read. Alright, so we see what we're looking at here. We're going to use these 2 keywords, alright? And I'm going to reveal to you one of the biggest secrets in SEO, and that's when to market, okay? Identifying the trends, interest over time. This secret right here that I'm about to give to you, you got to step back from your screen and just drop kick that like button, alright? Let's move over, drum roll please, to Google Trends. Okay, and we're going to explore 2 topics, all right? Crepe Myrtle. compare this with the other. Okay. Instead of the last 5 years, you can already see a pattern there. Let's just do the last 2 years. And for some of you guys that have been running your business, you probably know this better than uh, the normal marketer would. But you know, a marketer has to know when to pick up. He wants to go with the flow when the you know when the wave is on the rise. You want to make sure you ride that wave. Okay, and we can see here. This is all the discussion over the internet about these two basically search terms. Okay, so we can see in the beginning of the year, it's kind of like a rise on discussion. Okay, you see it's peaking there in July. Then after July, it's kind of like on the downslope, getting into the colder months. Right? It's just, yeah, as we come here, to the next year, you see once again in January, there's a rise all the way up until July, maybe. Yeah, so up until July, and then after July, it's on the downslope. So the time that you want to start doing your marketing for Crepe Myrtle, evidently, is between the beginning of the year up until July. And then, after July, you maybe want to slow down when you're marketing, especially if you're doing stuff like AdWords or paying for advertisements, paying for advertisement and things like that. Instead of wasting money, you might want to reduce your budget and stuff like that. Okay. So yeah, definitely make sure you drop kick that like button because you're not going to find this information anywhere else. Okay. Interest by region, we can see what's that? You know, the U.S. mostly, and Australia has very significant interest in crepe myrtles. Okay, and from here you will be grabbing long tail keywords: crepe myrtle bark scale, coral magic crepe myrtle scale. Different topics that you could grab and write about. You can also use these once again as anchor links, linking to additional articles that tell more about the crepe myrtle. And you can see that related queries, things that go on over time. Okay. Yeah, more information, stuff that's on the rising. What was the other one? So you got rising and top. Okay, okay. With the rising, okay, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, you have that information there. This will conclude my first video on do-it-yourself SEO. Please subscribe. In the future, I will be publishing another video on off-page SEO, optimization, local SEO, press releases, blogging, page authority, and social media. So if you want to get on page on the internet, subscribe and stay tuned for more.